The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
One of my favorite Jets of all time is making his debut on the Jake Asman Show this morning. We're going to talk with former Jets wide receiver and current Jets analyst Quincy Enunwa, who's going to join us live from Carolina ahead of the Jets-Panthers preseason game tomorrow night. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
There goes my hero.
Oh,
As he goes.
we bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jets fans. Happy Friday. Happy Football Friday. The New York Jets play their second preseason game of the calendar year tomorrow night. And, of course, final reminder, the watch party of all watch parties. Over 200 of you have RSVP'd for the first ever Asmaniac meetup at T-Squared Social in New York City. RSVP if you're coming. It's going to be an absolute blast. Party starts at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7 for the Jets and the Panthers. We will see you tomorrow night in New York City. The guy joining us right now will be on the broadcast on the Jets Radio Network with Bob Wischusen, broadcasting this game tomorrow night in Charlotte. He is former Jets wide receiver number 81, Quincy Enunwa, who joins us now. What's up, Q?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Q, great to get you on the show. And I want to start with this. You made your debut as a color analyst on radio last week in the Commanders matchup. Congrats, man. That's awesome. You and Bob sounded great.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. It was tough. Like, it's a new thing for me, but I enjoy doing it. Obviously, anytime you can use your experience and knowledge to kind of share with everybody else, it's always a fun time.
From your perspective too, Q, you were a guy who obviously had to compete at the beginning of your career to make the team, right? You were just a 6th-round pick. So do you feel like you could kind of relate to a lot of the players in these preseason games competing for roster spots?
Preseason is definitely your time to shine, your time to separate yourself. You talk about training camp where you don't get a lot of reps. So preseason, especially now, is a time where all the 2s, 3s, all those different guys get a chance to really go out there and make some plays, and I always say, like, if you don't make the team, at least put some film out there where all 31 other teams, feel like you should be on their team.
What for you was kind of the big thing you wanted to kind of bring in your media career? You've been around the team now, working for the Jets in-house media team. Now you're doing some games actually on the radio this summer. What to you are some of the things you want to bring as an analyst working with the Jets?
Yeah, I think I have a unique experience, right? Like, I think we all bring our own lifestyles and our own life experience into it. So I want to bring mine in, playing receiver, but also being a guy that did multiple things for the team, right? Like, I'd helped out in the run game at one point in my career. I was doing a lot of H-back stuff, played receiver as well. So that dynamic is one that, you're not going to see a lot of guys be able to speak on. But then also, knowing that, I played with the Jets. I know the facility in and out. I know the people here. So I'm like, this is perfect. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't something that I thought I wanted to do when I got out, but it just kind of fell in. I just fell into the role.
And you're doing a great job. So let me ask you this. You were watching this joint practice yesterday. What were some of the things that stood out when you saw the Jets and really Aaron Rodgers, of course, because he didn't play in the one last week against the Commanders due to the weather? What were some of your thoughts watching, the Jets out there in this joint practice against the Panthers?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was, a tough practice for the team. I thought, obviously there was a few mistakes. You had the fights as well. You would love to see them get a second chance today and go against this team to kind of prove that, they can improve off of yesterday's practice. But overall, there were also some positives, right? Like Garrett Wilson is still Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers showed his mobility at times. There were some interceptions involved, but those were, fixable mistakes, I think, and so those are things that where you go back in the lab and you're like, okay, well, this is what happened and this is why it happened. Let's adjust here. The defense had made some plays, but I think Bryce Young showed that he's not that young guy from last year. Obviously the Jets didn't have Quentin Williams to really be that game breaker like he was last year. But Bryce Young is a little bit older, more matured. He can kind of read what's going on, and he made some plays, which he's supposed to do. So ultimately, right, it was a learning experience for the team. They traveled out here. There were some good plays, some bad plays, but it was a great experience for the team.
You mentioned Garrett Wilson, and I got to talk to you specifically about him because he's had an unbelievable training camp, and you, of course, play the same position that Garrett plays. What stands out when you, in particular, get a chance to watch him up close?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody listens to me, they'll probably hear the same thing over and over again. But, for one, he's an acrobat. He's able to contort his body in so many different ways. He gives no tells in his routes. So as he's going into the route, there's no indication of where he's going, when he's breaking down. And that makes it really challenging for DBs. I mean, there was one play where he ran kind of like an over return, right? So he's going across the field, then he breaks it back to the sideline. DB didn't know where he needed to be at, and Aaron Rodgers put it right in the right spot, and so it's hard to defend a guy like that because there's so much that he can do, right? He can run every route in the route tree, and he has a quarterback that can put it anywhere he needs to put it.
There are a lot of Jet fans, myself included, that have said, hey, if Aaron's out there for 17 games with Garrett for 17 games, we're talking about a lot of records that could get broken. I bring up that 2015 Brandon Marshall season often. You were up close watching that as his teammate. Do you think Garrett Wilson is capable of having, 109 catches, 1,500 yards, double-digit touchdowns? Because the way he looks this summer, and even in the brief time we saw in that preseason game last year with Rodgers and Garrett against the Giants, it just looks like these two have that chemistry that is humming right now, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's had 1,000-yard seasons with multiple quarterbacks, right? Like he has no consistency. So, if you put Aaron Rodgers out there and he has him for the whole year, I mean, the sky is the limit. I think it's definitely possible for him. I don't see why not. He has the skill set to do it. He has a quarterback to do it, the offense to do it, right? Like it's not one where they have to be throwing the ball all the time. They also have great running backs, so it makes it that much more challenging for a defense to defend. And the beautiful thing about this offense is a lot of times a run play may be called, but Aaron Rodgers might see Garrett Wilson in a favorable situation and just put it out there for him. So those are the little small plays that rack up for him as well. So I definitely think he has the possibility to do it. Everybody just has to stay healthy. That's the thing we always talk about.
No doubt. I was going to ask you about Malachi Corley, but I saw Rat Diddy here in the chat. He's got the same question I was thinking. You being from Nebraska, he writes in, Corley coming from Western Kentucky as a rookie, what advice would you give him? And I'll even follow up on that, Quincy. When you see Corley, do you see any resemblance to kind of the style that you brought to the Jets when you were out there, basically running through people at times?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the guy is, if you watch his film, he's a monster, right? Like he's hard to bring down, but he's also really tenacious, right? He doesn't want to go down. He looks for contact, and he tries to punish people. So, I feel like that definitely resonates with me, the mindset that he has when he has the ball in his hands. And I think that, my biggest advice would be just to do your best in the small things right now, because they're not looking for him to be the starter. They're not looking for him to be the number one receiver, right? So there's a lot of small things that he can do really well that will only help his game later on in the future, right? Like you can become more of a complete receiver by working on those smallest details. And once your time comes, you'll really shine.
You mentioned the running game. I do think, especially early, why wouldn't you try and feature as much Breece Hall as you can? And with the way Braylon Allen has played, you got to keep feeding him. He's been awesome. Your thoughts on just the style of offense the Jets could have, specifically the ability to run the ball a lot more than they have in previous years?
Yeah, multifaceted, right? You got two great running backs, and Isaiah Davis is good as well. Izzy Abanikanda, we're waiting to see like what he can do completely. He had a touchdown last game, which was great for his confidence. So, we're going to see what happens for the rest of the preseason. But you've got a stable of backs, and guys that you can kind of put in and out, which will be very, very challenging for other defenses because you have to defend so many different guys, like and different styles, right? Braylon Allen might really hurt you differently than Brees Hall will. So it's exciting to kind of imagine what that's going to look like. But to me, I think that is where the focus is for this offense, right? Really kind of grinding that run game, and then when you need to play action. Or in different situations, you have Aaron Rodgers to come in and really do what he needs to do.
What does Mike Williams bring to that receiver room?
Oh, he's a game changer as well, right? There's a guy that you could just put the ball up and let him go get it, and there's no real routes that you need to have. He's just so capable of coming down with the tough catches, and you need a guy like that. Obviously, you have Garrett Wilson who can also do that, but not at the same level as Mike Williams. Like he's consistently done that over the years. One hand, two hands, going up over people. So that creates so much variety, and it's cool to see how much variety they have in their skill players, right? And we still don't really talk about Tyler Conklin. Like, the guys had 600-yard years with, again, multiple quarterbacks, and so I'm excited to see what he does out there as well.
From a former player's perspective, Quincy, I'm curious your thoughts on this. So Robert Saleh has been asked a lot about the Hassan Reddick situation as he continues his holdout. The trade request comes out last week. Jets say they're not going to trade him. And Saleh came out and said, I promise you, it's not a distraction. CJ Mosley said, hey, we're not worried about anyone who's not here. We're focused on getting ready for the season. So the Jets internally are saying all the right things. But I'm curious, as a former player, does something like that become a distraction? How do you think the Jets are truly handling that inside the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, like I had a similar situation where a guy was holding out Ryan Fitzpatrick a few years ago, but with Ryan, he had already been on the team. We had bonded with him. We knew what we were missing essentially, to some degree, because we had him the year before. With Hassan, he's a guy that they are not playing with, right? So they know what he can do, but they have not played with him. Right? They're not going out to the bars with him, all those different things, So I'm sure there's so many different feelings going on where it's hard for me to really even imagine what I would be thinking. Like on one hand, you want the guy to get what he feels like he deserves. On the other hand, you would love for him to come play, but do you feel like you need him as a player? Like, I think you do and you don't, right? Like you do because you want everybody. You want to feel like you have a complete team, and you don't only because you haven't had him before, right? So if you felt like you were successful last year, you feel internally like you can do it without him, but you're always going to be like, man, this guy is a hell of a player. Like we want him as well.
What are your thoughts on this defense if he's not there for, say, the opener against San Francisco? I mean, this is a defense last year that obviously had Bryce Huff. He's no longer there. JFM, he's no longer there. So it's a revamped defensive line room. Reddick's supposed to be a part of that, but what are they if Reddick is not there for, let's say, the opener?
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit with Leger Douzable, just kind of getting an understanding of the defensive line and those type of things. And, he says that this guy can be really, really game breaking for the team, but I think the team really wants to see Will McDonald step up, right? Him, Michael Clemens, right? Those guys, you see Jermaine Johnson, have a great year last year and continuing to kind of show up this year. So, there's guys in the waitings that want to take on that role. And so, it'll just be on them to really show, what they can do during the preseason, what they can do during training camp, that if it becomes a situation where he doesn't come, that they're able to step up.
When you look at the keys to this defense, you mentioned a couple names, right? You mentioned Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams. I mean, how about the fact that, you're a guy with the letter Q. You were nicknamed Q when you played for the Jets. So right now, this is a Jets team that has both Williams brothers who go by Q. Just your thoughts on the Jets having success with players that have Q in their name.
I mean, listen, man, I'm a fan, right? Like that, those guys it's not many of us that have that name that have, Q in our name. So it's always cool to see guys perform and succeed. Quinnen is a guy that I always talk to. He was his rookie year. I was here. But it's cool to also see Quincy, right? Like a guy that was moved from his other team. It felt like they didn't really want him as much, and now he's came here and he's really made a name for himself. Like really made a name for himself, and so those are always cool stories to watch. You root for those type of guys, and he's really a spark plug for the team, right? He gets out there, he has so much energy, and he's all over the field. So those two guys I really enjoy watching.
Quincy, you played with Darrelle Revis during his second stint with the team. So he wasn't, 2009 Darrelle Revis when you played with him, when he was arguably the best cover corner any of us have ever seen. But you obviously have seen, great corners in this league before. What are your thoughts when you get a chance to watch Sauce Gardner up close and how he compares to some of the greats that have played in this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I would say he kind of has like the patience of a Revis, but with like the length of a Cromartie, right? Like he's a freak, and so to watch him do what he does day in and day out, it's really cool to see. I mean, the guy is a technician, and I think everybody always talks about the grabbing and stuff, right? There's a reason why he's not getting a lot of flags. It's because he's so savvy with the grabbing. I think one thing people don't understand, and as a receiver, I always notice DBs are constantly grabbing, right? Like you can say on any play, they're going to be grabbing. Like now, there's some guys that don't grab, and those are the guys who will get beat more often than not. Like there is some level of grabbing that needs to happen while you're playing. Now, would I love to see him not do it as much? Of course, but as long as he knows how to do it in a way where he's not getting the flags, that's what you're supposed to do. Offensive linemen do the same thing, right? Like it's the same type of game, right? Like you have to know how to win within the rules, and once you've understood it, that's when you really become a pro.
We're talking with former Jets wide receiver Quincy Enunwa. If you have a question for Quincy, write it in. We'll do some Q&A at the end here. So, Quincy, you're, of course, going to be on the call tomorrow night on the Jets Radio Network with Bob Wischusen for this Jets-Panthers game. What are we looking to see? What are some of the things that going in you're going to be focused in on to see how it plays out?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more of that run game, right? I want to see them do that again. Like that was really cool to see. I mean, we were expecting the running backs to play well, but they really showed out. With not a lot of reps. Like I think that'll be a big one defensively, right? Like who's going to step up on the D line? We saw some guys kind of have a good game. Bruce Hector, Leonard Taylor, those two guys played great games. But, who else is going to kind of show up? Lecky Fotu is a guy that we talk about. So I think it'll be cool to see, like, how does that D-line step up? I know that there's a few guys on the Panthers D-line. Well, first I'll say I don't know if their starters are going to be playing, but they have some guys that they brought in. And if they do choose to play on Saturday, it'll be cool to see those matchups.
Do we have an idea if it's going to be Tyrod again? Is he going to play a little more? I don't even know if Saleh has said who the quarterback is tomorrow night for the Jets.
Right. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, Tyrod plays such limited reps. It's hard to say whether or not he's going to do that again or if he'll have some more reps. It would be cool to see him. I want to see kind of what he can do within this offense. Like, I think he had a 3-and-out, and then the second drive wasn't all that great either. So, as much as I do want to see those young guys, I think it would be exciting for all of us to see what Tyrod Taylor does with this offense.
Speaking of quarterbacks, it kind of sounds like, based on Aaron's comments the other day, that doesn't feel like he needs to play in that final preseason game against the Giants. What are your thoughts on whether or not the Jets should play him? Do you defer to what Aaron wants to do with something like this because he's been in the league forever? Just your thoughts on how the Jets maybe approach that final preseason game, whether or not Aaron plays.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's understood that he's not going to be playing. I think, he's 20 years in the league now. He kind of knows what to do when he goes out there. And he's, like I said earlier, he's been showing us that the Achilles is healed. He's been rolling out, making throws on the run. So all those things that you're worried about, we know he can do. We don't need him to take any hits on it. I don't think that's necessarily necessary. But, I think we also want to see some of the guys behind him. I don't know if we need to see Aaron Rodgers play as much as we would all love to see him play. Let's get him going for week 1.
Let's talk about your career, Quincy. Look, I'll say it so you don't have to. I know everyone out there in my audience is thinking it. The only good thing John Izek maybe did as the GM of the Jets was draft you. So thank goodness he at least got that right. But when you think back to your career with the Jets, I know obviously due to injuries, it didn't go nearly as long as it should have. But what are some of your favorite memories that stand out? Because you were certainly a fan favorite from the moment you stepped on the field.
Yeah, there were so many memories, man. I really enjoyed all of it, honestly. Like, when I look back at it, there's not one moment that like even like the bad days, like the Buffalo in 2015, right? Like all those things are memorable, and really cool to kind of experience. But I would say obviously 2015 overtime, like that was cool for me because it really gave me a lot of confidence. I had dropped a pass early in the game and then Fitz came back to me and I made that run up the sideline. And then we ended up winning the game with a throw to Decker with a corner in the right end zone. So like that kind of thing, those kind of things were really memorable, obviously, because, they meant so much and they really catapulted my career.
I think I was telling you this before we started taping. I was at the game the following season against the Bills on that Thursday nighter in 2016, where you basically took over. I mean, the offense that night was humming. It was a crazy game, and you had some big time catches, man. I mean, you were such a beast. What was it with you and Fitz where you guys seemingly had such a great connection?
Yeah, I mean, that going into that year, I really was grinding, and I think that the good thing about that year, like although we talk about earlier, Fitz kind of sitting out that year, it was good because B. Marsh and Decker also had sat out. So I was taking a lot of 1 reps with Gino. So like it really boosted my confidence. I was going against the number 1 DB. So you're talking about Revis, you're talking about Cromartie. Like I was going against those guys every day, like really improving my craft and improving my confidence. So by the time week 1 came, the first play was actually a jet sweep to me. Like that's how much confidence the team had in me at that time. So I was already like at the top of the world. So that next week I'd already had the confidence, but then I had the motivation of facing Rex, right? And we know what happened last year, the last time we played Rex. So there was a little bit of like revenge in there for me as well. So you talk about that, those 2 combinations coming together, it was dangerous.
Does it still, though, when you think back to that 2015 game in Buffalo, does it still bother you as much as I know it bothers me and every Jet fan out there?
Of course. I mean, that was my one opportunity to make it to the playoffs in my whole career, right? And we just kind of let it go. So I definitely wish I could go back there. There's a few plays I know that I wish I could have made, a few plays that everybody wishes they could have made, and it's unfortunate because the following year we were like, we'll be right back. And it just didn't go the way we wanted it to.
I'm convinced if Bilal Powell was healthy for that game, maybe it's a different outcome. That's such an underrated injury that happened that week, and I think it was a big deal for the offense.
Lost Bilal, lost Mo in the game, right? So, and then Mo wasn't even the same the next year. So, yeah, it was a lot, man. It was just so much that went into that year that I think if a few things were different, we would have definitely, made it.
You experienced, winning that season. The team was 10-6. Is there a better feeling in the world than having the chance to win when you play for a New York franchise like that with the fan base, the passion, the coverage that it brings? What were your thoughts on kind of being, in the wild, so to speak, with the Jets having a lot of success that year?
Yeah, I tell everybody, man, do the work that you need to do. Well, I tell all the players, right? Do the work that you need to do because there's nothing like winning in New York, man. Like I don't know if there's any town, any state, any area that can compare to, the feeling that you have when you win out here. And, everybody's chasing that feeling now.
If you have a question for Quincy, write it in. We'll get to it as we start to wind down here. A bunch of questions coming in. So thanks to everyone for the support. And I saw a great comment here from That's No Ghost, who says, everyone destroy the like button to show appreciation for how Quincy destroyed defenders. That's right. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're just tuning in. This is a question from Curly, who wants to know, Quincy, who was one of your favorite cornerback matchups when you were playing?
Definitely Malcolm Butler, but also Stephon Gilmore. I had a great game with him. We talked about the Buffalo game. Like that was most of the plays I had were against him. So that, it was cool to go against him one-on-one and make those plays. And if we're being honest, like majority of them, he was right there with me. I was just making great plays. So, that's a great corner. Then Malcolm Butler was also a really good one as well. Like we used to always talk back and forth during the game. So it was always a great competition.
The touchdown you had against New England in that overtime win in the corner where at first the ref called it, incomplete. They review it, touchdown. I mean, that was one of the best catches you'll see all year.
Yeah, no, and that was against him, right? Yep. And it's the fun thing about those things is like that was a great game for me. I think it was my first 100-yard game, and like the one thing I love about that season was like I was doing that across the field from like a great receiver in Brandon Marshall, right? So Eric Decker had gone down, and it was me and him out there, So it was a fun memory.
Johnny Boy checks in with a question for Quincy. As a big fan of your breakdowns after the games, would you ever think about a role on the coaching staff or just coaching in general?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to coaching, but right now it's not really the best time for me. Like coaches have intense schedules, and so that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to do that. But I definitely enjoy sharing the knowledge that I've gained from playing. So maybe down the road, if it works out for me, I would love to do it. But yeah, mad respect to all the coaches for real.
What are your thoughts on your former teammate, Coach Crow? Antonio Cromartie is a part of this coaching staff.
Yeah. I've talked to him a couple times. Good for him. This is his second stint here. He was here actually when I was here around 2018 or 19. He's really chasing that dream, and I think he has high aspirations, and so it'll be cool to see where he ends up.
Felix checks in. Thank you for the super chat, Felix. Q, I really appreciate what you did for the Jets in your career. I hate that it was cut short with injuries, but man, you were a beast on the field. In your opinion, what will the Jets' record be this year?
Oof, the predictions. I think I did a prediction show with the team sometime earlier in the offseason. I don't remember what we said. I think we said like 11 or 12 wins, something like that. That would be the hope. I want these guys to make it to the playoffs. I know it's going to be a tough road. They got some challenges, especially week one, right? That's going to be a real challenge. And the division is not going to be easy. I think the Patriots will be one that will be a little easier. It feels like they're kind of trying to figure things out. But, Miami is still Miami. And Buffalo still has Josh Allen. So those are two pretty good teams in the division.
When you were playing with the Jets, like out of all the division opponents, was New England the team you guys hated the most? Was it every team in the division? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was always New England. I mean, New England was tough. Obviously you had Tom Brady there, so that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick and Tom Brady at the same time. It was always tough to play them, and I think that it was always, it always felt like we just kind of heightened it whenever we played them. I wish it would have just been the same everywhere, everybody we played. But it's tough to get a win against that team, man. I mean, I think the one time we won that I was here, it was in overtime.
Yeah.
And so we almost won in 2016. And the crazy thing about 2016 is we really should have won that game. But
was that the Safarian Jenkins play?
That's 17. That was 17.
Yeah.
And 16, we should have beat them. But that was the year that they ended up going to the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady had the whole Falcons come back, right? He did the same thing essentially against us. Like, we really felt like we were going to win that game. So, it was just like when you have Tom Brady, you can never feel – when you're against Tom Brady, you can never feel like anything's safe.
I know you played with Rex in his final year, your rookie season. Then you had obviously Todd Bowles, and you finished up with Adam Gase. I won't ask you about Gase because I don't want to, anger my audience, but as far as Rex and then Bowles, what were your favorite memories playing for those coaches?
Yeah, so with Rex, obviously I only had that 1 year, and I only played in one game, but he was a fun coach. And I think the one thing I always remember about him was that last game was my first game. And he was, he goes down the line, shaking everybody's hand. And he comes to me and he says, "Hey man, this is where your story begins." Right. And so it's cool. Like that was something that he felt like he needed to tell me, and it ended up being, a pretty cool story. And with Coach Bowles, man, he really believed in me, man. And so that's why I really appreciate him. Like, gave me a lot of opportunities, and put me in as a captain. Like, there was just a lot of cool things in playing with Coach Bowles. So I always appreciate him.
What was maybe the most difficult aspect of like the end of your career? How close were you to maybe giving it another go? And what were kind of, your range of emotions as, you were an awesome player. You signed a contract with this team, right. Second contract, and, to no fault of your own, you lose the opportunity to go out there and make plays on Sundays.
Yeah, it was tough, man. I think, it was one of those things that, you can't really come to grips with it in the moment, right? Because again, I did sign that contract. I go into the season, the first game I'm injured, and the injury is one that takes me out for the rest of my career, right? Like, it's not like I'm injured, let's figure it out and I come back. So that whole year was challenging, and trying to figure it out. Obviously, we know about Coach Gates being there, so there was just a lot going on, and in the end, it took me a little bit of time to really fall back in love with football because of how much I felt like it took from me. But, it was a blessing in disguise, and so I'm grateful that I did have the career that I had and, did what I did.
Craig in Australia says, Q, we love you down under. We're international on this show, Quincy.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's dope, man. And Just Nation is probably one of the best fan bases in the world.
That's no ghost as a question. What are Quincy's favorite Jets uniforms? So you could say any of the uniforms, but I'll get specific here. Of the ones that you wore, did you have a preference out of all the the different options you guys had with the green and white?
Probably the white on white was probably my favorite. But I like the new jerseys they have right now. Those are pretty cool. Like they have like a nice throwback feel to them, and so I'm glad that they went that route.
Genergy wants to know, what was the best advice you received in your career?
Oh, that's a good question. It would be hard for me to figure that out right now. I guess I'll say this. The best one I would have is like invest in yourself. That's one that really kind of changed my career. There was a time when I was trying to get on the field, and I had to make a huge investment in like recovery and all these different things that really like would have made me go broke if I didn't have success the following year. But I made the leap and made those investments, and it really changed my career.
Quincy, this was so much fun, man. I can't thank you enough for hopping on. Good luck with the broadcast tomorrow. You and Bob Wischusen on the Jets Radio Network, and we'll get you on again throughout the season. I can't wait to hopefully, fingers crossed, watch this team have a great year and end this playoff drought that is killing all of us Jet fans since 2010.
Right, absolutely, man. Listen, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the Jets fans that tuned in and listening. I hope that we have a really successful year and do exactly what we're supposed to do.
He's Quincy Enunwa. My name is Jake Asman. We'll take a quick break and continue. It's the Jake Asman Show live on YouTube. Let's pause for a quick word from Circa Resort and Casino.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
5 days from right now, I'm signing up for the Circa Survivor contest. $1,000. Team Asmaniac will have an entry. I'll need you guys to help me out every week on which team we're going to pick. If you want your own entry in either the Circa Survivor or the Circa Million Pick Contest, circasports.com for all the info. You heard it from Derek Stevens and Mike Palm there in the commercial spot. $16 million in guaranteed prizes. The 2 best pro football betting contests in the universe are at Circa Resort and Casino. Book your stay at Circa Las Vegas. And, of course, all the info you heard me talk about, circasports.com. All right, let's open it up to your comments and questions. Thanks again to Quincy for joining the show. He was awesome, certainly one of our favorite Jets. It's a shame with the injuries that he suffered that ultimately ended his career. But, this was a guy that when he was out there, he was a baller. And I'm glad that we got a chance to ask him about the Malachi Corley comp because, different body types, but the style of play, I think, is similar, which is awesome. Gusbuster hotline link is posted. I will pin it right now in the chat for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Appreciate everyone for their support. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And a huge reminder, we got our watch party tomorrow night, folks. T-Squared Social said, hey, can you send me the RSVP list so we could get an idea on who's coming? And when I sent them the list and they saw that there's over 200 names on it, they were like, whoa. So let's go, people. It's going to be a blast tomorrow night. And I can't wait to meet so many of you and see many of you once again. Check it out with the link that is posted in the description. I'll make sure I pin it in the comments if you're not watching live. But let's make it very clear. If you're coming, wear your Asmaniac swag. If you purchased any from the merch store, wear your Jets green, and let's have a blast tomorrow night. I also want to share this. I teased it on the show. We mentioned it live on the show the other day. But now I'll give you guys the visual of the drink menu tomorrow night. These are custom Asmaniac Jet-themed cocktails that you have the chance to order at T-Squared tomorrow night. Let's go through it together, shall we? All right, here we go. The Asmaniac, which is Coke and popcorn-infused whiskey. Hell yeah. The MetLife Margarita is a classic margarita. The 1969 a little vodka, Prosecco, and raspberry all coming together. And our final cocktail, the Broadway Joe, which is T-Squared's awesome smoked old-fashioned. Plus, as you guys will see when I go like this, when I remove the little ticker at the bottom here, we have a JETS gangrene tea shot special. It's a green tea shot. It's $7 during the game, but it's $4 at kickoff, right at 7. And every time the Jets score a touchdown, it's also $4. So we're going to need Tyrod. We're going to need Peasley. We're going to need Martinez to throw some touchdowns tomorrow. So those shots go from $7 to $4 when the Jets score some touchdowns. All right. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs out there. Reminder, if you're wondering, Jake, how do I get this hat? How do I get stuff in the merch store? It's jakeasman.com. If you're a Patreon subscriber, everything in the store is always 15% off. So if you're thinking about buying any merch, might as well join the Patreon for $5 because guess what? You're going to save more than $5 when you order merch. So you're basically getting your first month of Patreon for free. Check it out at patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Big thank you to 8path for being our most recent Patreon subscriber. All right, to your calls we go. International is where we're going first. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig in Australia. Hello, Craig.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Good day, Craig. We got it. I love the Asmaniac shirt. And look at that. Are you drinking a Jettini?
No. That's a good idea, by the way. And actually, Mrs. Craig immediately looked up the Appletini. She goes, "What's that? That sounds really nice."
I love it.
So we're gonna have to make one. It will happen. But this is like a prosecco, like a bubbles, but with lime juice to make it green because it's the evening. It's Friday night here, so I can I'm allowed to relax and chill out a bit. And I'm here with Austin, but he's distracted. There he is.
Hello, Austin.
Hello. His favorite player with the Yankees is Austin Wells, and
he's been awesome lately.
He's having a great season, man. So we're trying to figure out how can we, when we take the family to New York City next year in September, how can we meet him? What can we do? There's got to be a way, and I've got some ideas. So I did mention to Bobby about getting the orange lawn chair down. Anyway, I was talking about it with Mrs. Craig just before, and I'm like, what do we do? How do we do it? And then we had the idea maybe we can rent a car and drive up to Vermont and meet Bobby because we're not going to meet him for the home opener, and we can bring the orange lawn chair down to Manhattan and take it into the Hotel Edison. And then we really got thinking we could do a lot with this lawn chair. We could take it to Central Park. We could get the naked cowboy to sit on it in Times Square. We could take it to Alden's and get Mr. Bonesy to sit on it. I mean, there's really no end to it when you think about it.
The possibilities are endless. You're right.
They are. So I'm open to suggestion from Asmania as to what you might think, but I'm going to put this to Bobby later. How would you feel if we rented a car and drove up to Vermont to meet you, did a day trip and picked up the lawn chair, and we'll keep it at the Hotel Edison on 47th Street, and we'll post it back to you before we go home. I promise we'll send it back. I promise.
Look, I'm all for it. I just want to warn you, New York City to Vermont is like a 4-hour drive at least, maybe more. I don't know.
It could be more. Bobby said it was like 3 hours or something, and I thought that doesn't sound right to me. But we're committed. We're committed to Asmania, to Bobby, to the lawn chair. It's basically taken over my life at this point. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look at me.
The passion's incredible, Craig. I love it. You and your wife.
I'm going to turn this country. That is what I'm going to do. There's no stopping it. So
you're spreading the word.
We are. And as of tonight, our flights have been booked. So it is happening. It is a done deal. And I can't wait to see everyone. We're off our faces. We're so excited. It's going to be awesome.
Folks, we need a Craig emoji as our next channel member emoji. I've just determined that's what we're going to do. I got to get my best of the best on it. I need Snowball. I need Gator. I need Joe Mike, our emoji creators, ours, to come together. Something that encapsulates Craig, whether it's him holding a boomerang, the flag of Australia behind him. Maybe it's Craig and a kangaroo. I don't know, but the next emoji needs to be the Craig in Australia emoji.
I've walked into the office today and my staff have printed out me boxing the kangaroo that Weed made, and it's stuck on the wall in the office. As I said, you guys have taken over our lives in the best possible way. It's an amazing thing. I've got all these friends on the other side of the world. Consider myself very grateful. Very grateful.
We love it, Craig. Great call. Thank you so much
Hit the
for
like
being
button,
part
people.
of this community.
Hit the like button. Smash it. Come on.
Let's go. Let's go. Craig in Australia, check it in. What a great call to start it off today. Awesome. I'm seeing the suggestions coming in, Craig, for your emoji. A kangaroo with Craig's face, says JT. I wonder if what would the emoji be if like the roles were reversed, right? Like obviously, like we Americans, stereotypical Australia, it's kangaroo and boomerangs. But like if this show was like in Australia, what would like the American version be? Like me eating a hot dog? Or like me being like a fat slob, you know, something like that, because we got a major obesity problem in this nation. Are there fat people in Australia, Craig? I wonder. People get fat in Australia? I don't know. Oh, man. Best community, man. Hit the like button for Craig. We got to get his emoji. I will find out how many memberships we need to get another emoji. We're working on it. JT says a burger or a gun, guns and hot dogs. Yep. Maybe a cheeseburger. Pretty funny. Oh, my God. All right. Hit the like button. We'll get back to your calls right now. But first, we have some housekeeping to attend to. Before the show started, Mackenzie Bates gifted a channel membership. And you might be thinking, oh, well, who got the membership if it happened before the show started?
Oh, nice.
Ricky NY finally received his channel membership. So I've already corresponded with Mackenzie. We're emailing back and forth. I will be sending Mackenzie an item in the merch store because he won our contest to gift Ricky his Edgemo, or his channel membership, as they say. So, Mackenzie, thank you very much. But Mackenzie's like, well, I'm not done. How about a 5-spot of channel memberships for the people?
Money, 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 money.
Here we go. 5 memberships from Mackenzie, Mr. Roberts, Jets Johnny, Siebel, Jorge Galvez, Infrared Jets. You are all channel members. Let's get some more channel memberships. I'll find out how many more we need for Craig, and then we'll get our best people on making that Craig Edgemo, as our next caller would put it. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Best is next. Hello, Keith.
Edgemo is taking over emoji. That's right. That's insane. I brought it up because I mispronounced it one day, and now you're using it.
I like it better. I think it's a better name.
I like it better, too. Yeah, I like it better, too. Edgemo. Anyway, I'm sorry that I missed you were on with Robbie last night at 5. I didn't know because, I just had to go to bed at like 5 o'clock and slept all the way to this morning. I went to the hospital early so I can get my chemo out of the way. And, now I'm in the lounge and I get to relax. But I'm very interested to see how we play tomorrow. I know the young guys last week were awesome. All of them. I only mentioned Olu and Brandon, but I mean, everybody played great, and I didn't get to see the practice yesterday, but I'm sure it was good. I'll look at it later today. Anyway, but and we finally got some rain down here. It's pouring outside, and I don't know. I really don't have too much to talk about, but I like that. I like the idea of the Edgemo better than emoji. Maybe there's other animals besides kangaroos that you could put, like a koala bear, or I don't know what else is down there.
Well, I'm glad you got your internet back, Keith. We were concerned about you.
Well, no, the internet in my building is still off, and the cable TV is off. Wow. So I'm using my cell phone right now in the hospital on the Wi-Fi as the guest Wi-Fi that they have here. So yeah, we have this company called Hotwire that took over Comcast, and it's just been a horror show. So, and whatever, and they said they're going to have it fixed today. So hopefully, and then I can get on from home and get on my laptop. So
love it. Well, I'll tell you what, Keith. We have Boy Green this afternoon, so we got that coming. And yesterday, Robbie wasn't on. He had something come up, so he'll join us next week. But we did give you a recap of the joint practice. You can check that out if you want to find out what happened.
Yeah, I'll look at it. That's enough out of me. Keep Edgemo, awesome.
Edgemo's for life, baby. Keith Best, everyone. Hit your Keith Best Edgemo if you're an Asmaniac channel member. Love it. Shout out to Keith. TB writes in, American stereotype is a fat guy in a motorized wheelchair with an American flag eating a cheeseburger. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, there's a lot you could do. All right, I got open phone lines. If anyone wants in on the conversation, there's 244 of you watching. Please hit that like button. Help us boost our algorithm. It's annoying to ask for likes, but I'm just playing the hand I'm dealt with this YouTube game that we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, Mackenzie Bates. Maybe the heir to the Bates Hotel, perhaps. I don't know, but this money's coming from somewhere, baby. Yeah.
Show me the money.
Show me the money! Money.
Here we go, baby. 5 more memberships from Mackenzie. Dones Syndrome, FPP, Pittsburgh Mike, Nitty, Smoky Cat, 9 lives. You are all officially as maniacs. Genergy said she lost her membership. I guess it expired. All right. You know the rules. You get Genergy a membership. I'm sending you an item in the merch store. It literally just expired. You guys know the rules. Genergy gets a membership. We send you an item in the store. Nothing like it, folks. Nothing. All right. Some other topics I wanted to hit on here, and we'll get more into this with Boy Green. The more I think about the Reddick stuff, and Quincy kind of alluded to this too in the conversation we just had with him. To me, it's such a unique holdout that, you know, a lot of times this stuff can be a distraction. I actually don't think Reddick is a distraction at all for the Jets. And I think it's due to the point that Quincy brought up. The Jets don't know Hassan Reddick. Like, literally, like, his teammates don't know him. Like, CJ Mosley said he hasn't even spoken to him. Aaron Rodgers says, I think I texted with him when we first got him. Like, this is not, as Quincy brought up, a great example, a great thing to kind of compare it to. This is not Ryan Fitzpatrick's. It's even crazy to think he had a holdout, but he did. It's not the Fitzpatrick situation from 2016 where he's coming off a year where he threw 31 touchdowns and you needed the guy. And he built up chemistry with the whole offense, right? This is not that. The Jets, like, they don't know Hassan because they've never really had him because they haven't. He's been there for one day. He didn't meet his teammates. He was there to take his physical, and then that was it. So doesn't it kind of feel like it's not really a distraction? Like, if it was CJ Mosley holding out or Sauce, it's a distraction. But it's not necessarily a distraction for the guys on the team going into the year. It becomes a distraction if, you know, they're not getting a pass rush, right? If Will McDonald doesn't take a step forward, if Clemens is not any good, if, you know, Jermaine's getting double teamed and he's not playing like he did last year, like then yeah, it's like, oh, well, we need Reddick. But like, I was thinking about this. It's not a typical holdout where the locker room is like talking about it and you're losing focus and it becomes maybe an issue. It's not an issue. Like, it's an issue if they're not as good on defense when the games start, but, you know, they prepared all offseason like he wasn't there. So, you know, I think it gives the Jets actually in a way more leverage the more I think about it. We'll get Boy Green's thoughts on that this afternoon, but I was thinking a lot about that. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the Rick Kent emoji. Rick coming through for the people.
Money, 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 money.
Here we go. We got 5 from Rick Kent, Rafael Ramos, Ryan Yeager, Mike, and James Rouse. Josh B. the Prez also receiving a channel membership. Love it. Love it. Open phone lines if you want in. Here's a question I have for the chat. If you're coming to our event tomorrow, which drink are you the most excited to consume? That doesn't look good. Hold on. The Asmaniac, the MetLife Margarita, the 1969, the Broadway Joe. Which cocktail are you the most excited to try? And here's the other thing I'll bring up. There's some items that are not on the menu that you have to ask for. Secret items, secret cocktails, such as the V Hatton, named after V-Man. The Bobby Midnight, which is Red Bull and espresso. I just made that up. I just wanted to pick a drink that will make you wired like Bobby, full of energy. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Wallace checks in. Thank you, Donald. How about 5 more channel memberships, folks? All right, here we go. We got 5 names to read here. Aaron messed up. Boris Majur, James Jones, Ryan Derzurza. I screwed that one up, Ryan. My bad. Ryan Dezura. I struggle with the DZI pronunciation. Anyway, thank you, Donald, for gifting memberships. Darth Crypto is gifting a 1 spot. Folks, it's just $5 to gift the channel membership. Darth Crypto. He's gifted a membership to Golden RMS. Johnny Boy wants to know, any truth to a baby maker drink? Yeah, it's called the Boy Green. Sweet and passionate love. That's the ingredients to the cocktail. Sarah writes in, need a double bourbon and Diet Dr. Pepper and H-Town Hurricane. What's the temperature in Houston today, Sarah? 107? I love Houston. This is the time of year I do not love being in Houston, though. NY says, I hate to admit it, the MetLife Margarita, classic. It's a quality drink. It is a quality drink. I'm just not a tequila person, but I understand the love for the margarita. I get it. Jay writes in, Boy Screen is using his gosh darn banana. Man, that Boy Green guy is crazy. Guy's nuts. That's why he joins us every Friday. He fits right in with the Asmaniacs.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Offer still stands. You gift Genergy, one of the leaders of our 4% female demo, a channel membership. I send you an item in the merch store. We'll do a little Ask Me Anything here before we wrap up the program. And if you're tuning in late, Quincy Enunwa was our big guest this morning. He works for the Jets now as an analyst. He'll be on the radio broadcast with Wischusen on Saturday, a.k.a. tomorrow. So check out that interview if you missed it. We're back today at 4:30 Eastern. Purple Belt Mike says, Carly should have gotten a drink named after the Drunken Nugget. Don't inflate her ego anymore, Mike. It's the last thing we need to do. Aurora checks in. Bobby asked me to be on his stream during tomorrow's game. We're going up against GB. There's a lot of Jet content creators who stream during games, and I give them credit. I can't do it. I don't know what will come out of my mouth. So I don't want to get canceled. Gonzo says, hit the like. Dave writes in, don't want summer to end, but hate preseason injury risk and aggregation over practice issues. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, as much as we all want the Jets players to play well tomorrow, the only thing that truly matters, big picture, is did they make it through the game healthy? That's it. You know? You're starting to see players drop like flies this summer. McCaffrey already got hurt. Milano's out for the year. Hollywood Brown on Kansas City, I think, got hurt, right? You know, these are the things you worry about. David says, ask me anything question. Did you make your dinner appointment on time? Yes, I did. Want to hear something funny about that, David? I'm glad you caught yesterday's show. Not only did I make it on time, I was the first one there. The other 3 people Weren't there until 20 minutes after I got there. This is what I deal with. King Lowski. Thank you, King. How about a 5 spot from the King? Here we go. 5 from the King. Marcus Burke, Hader Ali, Ryan Thurston, Smiley GOE, and J-Man. You are all channel members courtesy of King Lowski. Let's go, baby. Oh, my God. I just saw this. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the rules. When we get 20 or more memberships gifted, we define that as what we like to call reigning memberships. Felix with a 20 spot. Are you kidding me, Felix?
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Oh, boy, it's raining. I hear it. Hold on. I can't even get my headphones on. I'm so excited right now. Oh, goodness gracious. Of all the dramatic things I have ever seen, Roger Clemens and George Steinbrenner's box and memberships raining like this. Woo! Here we go. 20 names to read. I have to stay dry. Here we go. Samuel McDermott, James St. Patrick, Ronnie Diaz, John Maselli, Radical Bongos, Kilopatra, G. Sun Care, Wavy Jets Guy, Rick B., Chris Homestein, J. God from NY, Ronnie Diaz, James St. Patrick. I might have read names twice. It's exploding in the chat. I can't find them all. William Aimley, Michael Price, Verfer 1K, Tyler Hallenbeck, Dimitri Apolloakos, Paul, Dropback Mark, Frank Summer. You were all channel members. Holy crap. Genergy didn't get one there? Wow. This contest continues. Unreal. Unreal. Wow. Felix, thank you, man. 20 memberships, $100 spent for the people. The great American people. And folks, I got some breaking news. Gator, being the wizard that he is, has already created our next Edgemo. The emoji for Craig in Australia is right here on my phone that will be uploaded when we hit our next threshold, which I got to check to see what it is because it keeps moving because people's memberships expire each day, and then it tells me a new number. Unreal. Unreal. T-Town Jet with a super chat, and Asmaniac won. Jake, a while back, I predicted 60 sacks and 30 interceptions. Is that far off? We had 18 interceptions last year. 30 interceptions is crazy, T-Town. 60 sacks, I think, is more realistic. But, man, look, you want to dream big? Sign me up, man. Why not? Let's be optimistic. I think 60 could happen, but you're going to need Reddick for that. 60 is not happening unless you get Hassan's automatic 11 to 12 he's going to give you. Baby J says, I'm going to the Jets-Panthers game. First Jets game ever. Nice. Have a great time. Love it. Here for the meme says, damn, I miss Quincy. I'm devastated. Well, you know what's great about YouTube? You can rewind and watch the whole thing. The entire thing is available. Man. What a show it's been. Last chance to get in here. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. If you want in on the conversation, now is certainly a golden opportunity. If you're a first-time caller and you've never called in, doesn't get better than this, folks. Today's Jake Asman show is presented by my friends at Huga House. Get yourself a Huga House cap, 15% off by going to hugahouse.com and using the promo code Asman at checkout. You buy one hat, you get the second hat, 30% off. So get two hats at a significant discount from Huga House. These hats are awesome. Vintage-inspired hats. They got them in all different colors, different designs. Aaron's always rocking it. Conklin's rocking it. A bunch of other athletes and celebs are too. So check it out. HugaHouse.com. Promo code Asman to support our sponsor. Jared B writes in, Quincy is soft-spoken, but he was a beast when he played. Yeah, isn't it funny how certain players are like that? Quincy is so soft-spoken, but he was a beast and played aggressive and trucked people when he was out there. And, it's funny. Another guy who plays like that, Quincy Williams and Quinnen Williams, right? They're not like loud and bombastic with the media. They're fun and lighthearted. Quinnen is like he's like a lovable giant. Like I've seen him interact with young kids before after practice, and he's just so nice, and he's always got a smile on his face. And the guy's a monster on the football field. Same with Quincy, man. Some of the hits that guy levies. King Lowski. He says, Janergy, it's me. I need to be the one who will gift you a channel membership, my love. And the membership went to Little HP. Little HP. Not Janergy. Palace checks in with a super chat. He cut the line. Should we be concerned that our defense makes Bryce look like an elite QB yesterday when he's the worst quarterback? No, I mean, one, I'm sure he's gotten better in his second year. Former first pick in the draft. And two, they didn't have Quinnen Williams. It's also like it's a joint practice. Like you're not going to dominate every day. It's a learning experience for the whole team. That's just how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, King Lowski is on his quest right now. And he has gifted a channel membership again to Jason Sparks. Jason, congratulations. But just know King Lowski is not happy he gifted it to you. I'm just kidding. Maybe he is, but I know he loves Janergy. Here's another view of the Craig in Australia Edgemo that we are cooking up right now for the people. The Asmaniacs. All right. Another Gator masterpiece here. Look at this. This is top notch. Craig's head on a kangaroo. The only thing that's missing, I guess maybe it'd be too much going on, is if he was somehow holding a boomerang. I don't know. That's so funny. Philip, super chat. Who else needs the King as their alarm clock for game day? For game day? How about all the time? Also, what a topic on First Take right now. They're at Fanatics Fest, which is not that far from where I live. I'm going to be checking that out later today. And the question on screen, as they do this in New York City at the Javits Center, bigger deal if the Jets or Knicks win a championship. Mad Dog says the Jets. Stephen A. said the Knicks. And they're showing the crowd. It looks like there's way more Knicks fans that are there. But Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante are doing a panel today. So it would make sense that they're there. The Jets are in season. They don't have current players there. This Javits Center thing looks sick. Now, there's some Jet fans in the crowd. We got a guy with the Rodgers jersey on. All right. Interesting. Hit the like button. To me, the answer is both. All right. I'm not complaining about either. All right. Thomas writes in, I want a membership gift meme. Well, you got to gift the membership, and then I'll give you something. JT says the emoji for Craig should have a boomerang hanging from his mouth. That could work. Tom says the Craig emojis is actually his new favorite Edgemo. Purple Belt Mike says, I go to Comic-Con every year. I love Javits. Yeah. I've never been to the Javits Center, I don't think. Tom says, I wanted to go, but $60 for tickets is tough. Here's my issue with it, Tom. So it's not just $60, right? It's $60 to get in there. And they have some like free stuff. They have like, each league has like their own like thing that you could do. Like they got a basketball court there. You could I think you could swing in a batting cage at like the MLB exhibit. Like they each have things you could do. The MLS has a soccer thing. Hockey has a setup. So that's all included with the $60. And I think you could watch some of the panels they have. But to get any autographs or photo ops with all the celebs or athletes they have, that costs you like more for each. So you're spending a lot. Now, if you're into it, I get it. But it's a lot of money. Tom says the Brunson autograph signing is like $250. That's what I mean. Like, so it's $60 to get in. Then you're spending another $250 just to get something signed by someone you came to see. It's a lot. I will say it looks like it's kid-friendly for a lot of the exhibits, though. So that's maybe the benefit. I'm checking it out today. I'll give a full review later on. I'm going to go there right after this. John says the meme for memberships is the Gusbuster umbrella. You're not wrong. All right, last chance to get in here. Comments, questions, super chats always cut the line. So if you got something you want to ask me, fire it in. Make sure that you RSVP if you're coming tomorrow. We're going to have a list at the door for you to check in so you will be able to take advantage of all the specials we got tomorrow. So RSVP if you're coming down. It's going to be wild. And if you don't know how to RSVP, I think you've been living under a rock because it's linked in the description to every video the last 2 months, basically. Joe Mike says, Gators stepping up the emoji game. Nice job. Love it, Joe Mike. You've done a great job, too, with your Edgemos. Franklin says, a better one is Craig's face in the kangaroo pouch. That's a good point. Should Craig's face be in the kangaroo's pouch? Let's evaluate the Edgemo. Maybe the answer is yes. Matt P says, who are you the most excited to watch for the game? I'll give you an answer I don't think enough people are talking about. I'm excited to watch Olu because I believe he's going to play right tackle tomorrow night. How about that? I think they were so impressed by Olu at left tackle. They're like, all right, he's ready there. Let's get him some reps at right tackle so he could be our true swing tackle. He played right tackle exclusively, I was told, in the joint practice yesterday. So this to me would indicate he's going to play right tackle tomorrow night in the game. And if that's the case, how does he look? Because if he looks good at right tackle after he was awesome at left tackle against the Commies, Olu Fashanu has officially clinched the swing tackle role on the team. So that's what I'm excited to see. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, last chance to get a comment read. Lee Van says, Jake the snake around Craig's neck. For those who don't know, Craig has a pet snake named Jake. Terrence says, have the kangaroo sit in Bobby's orange chair. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Genergy says, I'm trying to reset my gift settings. Genergy, we got to get you a membership. The fact that you don't have one makes me feel like I can't end the show just yet. I'm going to buy a membership right now and see if I could be the one to give Genergy her membership. All right? Because, sometimes when you want something done, you just got to get it done yourself. Here we go. One membership from yours truly has just been purchased. And it went to listener Derek M95. Derek, congrats. You are now officially an Asmaniac. Ladies and gentlemen, Mackenzie Bates is back. A one spot for the people. And it went to listener Dre Ida. Dre, congratulations. Incredible. Let me see how many we are away from the Craig one. Let me see. We got to be pretty close. So we added in this one program 50. Wow, 50. You guys are the best. Seriously. Let's see. Then we could end the show on a great note with the Craig Edgemo going live. Let's see. We'll definitely get it by this afternoon. 25 emojis or members to add the Craig emoji. So we got Boy Green this afternoon. We'll make it rain then. That'll be great. Tremendous. AJ says we need the orange chair. Well, Craig is going to be purchasing it or picking it up from Bobby in Vermont and bringing it to the home opener. So it's coming. It is coming. Thomas says, I want a membership. Turn on gift receipts. Hit the like button. It's part of the algorithm that rewards you with membership gifts. Can we get 200 likes? There's 290 people watching. Only 193 likes. Big fella says, Daddy's back. Jersey. Boom. Big fella, welcome back to NJ. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Want to thank everyone who took time to watch. Once again, thank you to Quincy Enunwa for coming on the show for the first 35 minutes. Holy sh! Oh, my God. The big fella, 250 memberships. Or 250. I can't speak. He just spent $250 on 50 memberships. Oh, my God. What a day at the stock market for the big fella. Are you kidding me?
Free stuff.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Holy hell. Grab the umbrellas. Everyone is getting a membership. Holy hell. Oh my God, big fella. Oh my freaking God.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Big fella, you are the man, brother. You are the man. Wow, folks. Holy crap. This, I think, has only happened once on the show before until now. 50 in one spot. Here we go. Bear with me. All right? Bear with me. Because we got 50 names to read. And as you can tell, it is pouring here. It is monsooning memberships. Jamar Mason. Toon. Dante 29A Nerd. Noah Nano. Jersey 29. Ogo PT1. Papa Kells. Alma Klopp. Deshanti Thomas. Lindos. Callie Jet. Dan Hops. TJ Jet 73. Dead Egg JM. Money Money. Jesse Law. Thomas Kloss. Julius Harris. Jersey Playa. AJ. Lex. Mission 0814. As I'm reading the names, I see a comment. As I said, Daddy's back from Big Fella. Hit the Big Fella emoji. Are you shitting me? Mission 08. Hector NYC. Kevin James. What's up, King of Queens? JD Jets. Rafael Feliciano. Salvatore Scardino. Sammy Mardente. The Mott Zone. John Hardigan. Dean. Matthew McNeil Jr. David D. Thomas Cobion. Sonic Boom. Spencer Herbstrike. L. Train Anderson. D. Stern. Sonado 69. Bobby Arnold. Dalvis Mateo. Holy crap. Wow. Folks, let me tell you, the big fella is one of one. This right here was a gift I got from the big fella at our meetup after the Bonesy versus Neil Shoe Store Challenge. It will not be opened until the New York Jets are AFC East champions this year, and big fella and I drink this together. But here's the thing. I almost want to open it now to honor the big fella, but a promise is a promise. Unreal. Unreal. It must be a good day on the stock market for the big fella. Holy hell. I just saw someone wrote this in the chat. Could you imagine if this team is really good this year like we think they're going to be? Oh, my God. That is unreal. I don't think Genergy got one there. Am I wrong? Is that possible? She must not have gift receipts on. I don't remember reading her name. That is unreal. The big fella, man. That. Oh, my God. Wow. Nathan with a super chat. Hey, Jake, Grand Junction Jet are excited about the season. Nathan, let's go, baby. Damn right we're excited. It's going to be crazy. Oh, my God. No Genergy, no J-Quest. This is crazy, man. J-Quest, thank you. I mean, can't speak. Big fella, thank you. Gator writes in, Edgemo time? Oh, you bet your sweet ass it is. Now, bear with me here because I got to do this on the fly, which is always a huge pain in the you-know-what. Because YouTube makes this the most overly complicated process to upload an emoji ever. But we will get to it. Here we go. Here we go. Also, before I do that, let me give a shout out to one of my oldest friends who's in the chat. I've known this guy since 2005 at Camp Canadensis. Ross Hankin checks in. Jake, can't wait for another season of listening. Keep up the good work. My man, Ross. Appreciate you, dude. See you at games this year. And if you're free tomorrow night, we got our first ever watch party. 200 people RSVP'd. Come through. T-squared, Midtown. All right, let's get the Edgemos up. Let's see. Let's see. Stand by. Do-do-do. Dun, 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 na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. All right. Refresh your browsers, and it should be in there. Let's go. The down under emoji. Craig in Australia is now live for the Asmaniacs to use. Wow. What a moment in time. Big fella says, congrats to all who got a membership. Pay it forward if you can. Let's effing go Jets. I love it. I love it. Big fella, true American hero. Jet Life says, sheesh, first time I've seen a 50 spot. I believe it's only happened one other time. I wish YouTube would give you like stats for that. They don't. But anyway, wow. Thank you to the big fella. Thank you to everyone who gifted today. Mackenzie Beats, King Lowski, Felix, Darth Crypto, Rick Kent, Donald Wallace. Unbelievable support from the community, as always. That's what makes this fan base the best. And be ready to party tomorrow night, folks. This is going down. That, I promise you. If you want to support me away from YouTube, plus get discounts on all the merch, and get yourself access to our exclusive Discord where I will be posting behind the scenes access to our big party. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Can't wait. So I'm back today, 4:30 Eastern with Boy Green. We'll do a comprehensive preview of the game tomorrow, talk about the latest with Reddick, and who knows? Because as we know with Boy Green, you never know where things are going to go. Once again, thank you all for the support. See many of you tomorrow. John writes in, will there be 1 or 2 shows tomorrow? I have Nick Shine at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow, and the post-game show is a game-time decision. I don't know how late I have to stay at T-Squared after the event ends. So I will post in the Discord whether or not I will do the post-game show late tomorrow night or first thing Sunday morning. If it was a regular season game, I don't care if I got back to my apartment at 1 in the morning. We'd go live then, which is probably going to happen after the Niners game. But post-game show for tomorrow night is either going to be late or first thing Sunday morning. So I will do my best to update the community on that as things go. And also, I'm going to be fully transparent with all of you. Depends how many drinks I have tomorrow night, man. I'm trying to have fun too. All right, I work hard. So I want to have fun with my listeners. So post-game show, either late tomorrow night or first thing Sunday morning. But I am giving you guys a Saturday program with Nick Shine coming on, who just hit over 1,000 subscribers. So congrats to Nick on his channel. We will be going live with him tomorrow. So that's the content schedule. But we're back with Boy Green later today. So I'm looking forward to that. Once again, thank you all for your incredible support. My name is Jake Asman. Hit the like button on your way out of here. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. We're trying to get to 40,000 subs. I got the best audience in sports, so you know it's coming soon. JETS, 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 Jets. We got Boy Green at 4:30, so let's give you a little Boy Green now, and we'll talk to you then. Ted, let's give you a little Boy Green now.
Joining us right now is a very special guest. We know him as Paul Boy Green Esden Jr. What's up, man?
Jake Gastard Ackman, baby. What is up, Jakey?
What's up, man?
Good Lord have mercy.
Oh, God.
Bop. Whoa, this Gumby-like body for the friggin' New York
Here we
Jets.
go.
That basketball in there, a little, I'm just going to be like, yeah. Well, chutzpah, you know what I'm talking about? Not too shabby. Yes, things grow stale. What the hell? And the crowd goes, what? Little shish kebab, a little, hey, how you doing? That horse was galloping in the open prairie. Tasty, tasty. This team's hyped, by the way. Ooh, I feel like I'm on crazy pills. Like, Jets are idiots. See, I told you. Shut up, people. But I don't even, pelvic thrust. Multiple. Take care, everybody. Zoinks? I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
I was not expecting AI Boy Green to be making an appearance. Well done, Gator. That was funny. Here I am thinking Boy Green called in. Nope. He did not. Unbelievable. Did I miss any?
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the postgame show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Hey, congrats on the sex.